What's up YouTube, Dell here from Zephyr, and it seems to be a weekly occurrence right now as I am bringing you another Genesys profile. This time it is the turn of ninjas. That's right, ninjas are actually a really effective and really competitive Genesys profile. It's pretty crazy. The other thing as well, on top of that as well, that's also quite crazy is that this deck list is 100 points. Wow. Now, the Maizen and the Yugioh are also 5 points apiece, which is a little bit crazy, but the deck can still function very well. There's a couple of costly cards in the main deck, not so much the ninjas themselves, they're all 0 points in the main deck, and then I've also got a side deck as always for you, just so you can kind of see everything you need for this Genesys build. So I'm going to dive headfirst into the profile, show you what we've got, explain why we've got it, and then kind of go from there. So please make sure you smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. Starting off with three of your, I wouldn't say your main starter, but still a great starter to have, is Grandmaster Hanzo. So you're going to want to max out on this guy. This guy has a very good effect that on normal summon specifically, you add a Ninjutsu art card from the deck to the hand. But when it is flipped or specialed, you can also add a ninja monster from the deck to your hand, except itself. And it's actually quite easy to do so in the ninja strategy. The other one we're playing three of is Mitsu, the Insect Ninja. So you control a ninja card or a face-down defensive monster. You get to special summon this card from the hand. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you get a quick effect to target a face-down defensive monster you control and change it to face-up defensive. If you do, change this card to face-down defensive, and then if the target monster was a ninja monster, except itself, you negate that opponent's activated effect. So you basically do like a flip switcheroo to negate your opponent's monster effect. Now, the one thing that you are missing with this deck is you can't play the Link monster in the form of the Saizo, which is absolutely fine. You also can't play Cross Sheet, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. The other is you want to get to Maizen, and the Maizen lets all your ninjas attack directly. OTK with ease. So I have decided to build this deck a little bit more aggressive than usual, which is why a lot of the cards in here are going to be breaker cards rather than like hand trap cards. And I just feel in the Genesys format, breaker cards are a little bit more effective in general than anything else. The other side deck cards are all 0 points, and I'll explain them when we get there. The other ninja you're going to want to max out on is going to be your Tabari, the Sky Ninja. So this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect the turn it was special summoned or flip face up. You can use each of the following effects once per turn. You get to send this card from the hand to the grave to special summon a ninja from the hand in face up or face down defensive. During your opponent's main or battle phase, you get a quick effect to fusion summon a ninja fusion monster from the extra deck using monsters from the hand or field as material. So Tabari is just as important as Mitsu and of course Hanzo. They all kind of serve their purposes, which is really cool. Then the other one we've got is Yugioh, the Gravity Ninja. Now, between Yugioh, Green Ninja, and mainly Baku, some people you'll play 2, some people you'll play, I wouldn't play any more than 2, but sometimes you can play Green Ninja at 2, or the Yugioh at 2. Baku, very rarely will you play at 2, but sometimes that might be a consideration. I decided to go with a 2-1-1, but you could very easily go for a 2-1-1. It's entirely up to you. Another way to do it is a 1-1-1, and in doing so, you'll open up some more cards in your side deck that I'll talk a little bit later on. But the other is that your Yugioh is like your aggressive ninja, as if this card is normal summoned or flip face up, you get to target up to 2 face up monsters on the field, and you change them to face down defense position. And if you do, any opponent's monsters that were flipped by this effect cannot change their battle position. If a monster on the field is flipped face up while this monster is in the face up on the field, except during the damage state, you get to target one card your opponent trials and destroy it. Now, the benefit of something like this is because we're no longer in a Link format with Genesys, you have the ability of flipping down your opponent's XE's materials, their synchro materials, their tuners, you name it, you're getting rid of them. The only time where that bit will be a little bit less relevant is going to be in the form of a fusion style deck that you're facing. But the other benefit as well is I really want to play Quaking Mirror Force, just because I miss the good old days of playing Quaking Mirror Force. My opponent attacks me and I just go, cool. All face down, they can't change the battle position, and then ninjas can attack directly. And it's just like, you went for 5 monsters to try and OTK me, I'm quaking you, and then I'm just going to start jumping over your monsters and attacking directly. Baku is if it's added to your hand except by drawing it, you get to special summon it. And if it is specialed or flip face up, you target a ninja or a ninjutsu art card in your grave or face up spell and trap zone, accept itself and add it back to the hand, so it lets you recycle your resource. The Green Ninja is if a monster or monsters is special to your field face up except during damage step, you target one of them, special on this card from the hand, and if you do, you change that monster to face down defense position. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you target a monster on the field and change it to face up attack or face down defense position. So again, it just gives you another form of a Book of Moon without any points, because Book of Moon was 7 points, which is crazy to me. Then the final two ninjas that we play one of is again a little bit flexible. We've got the Kagero, the Cannon Ninja. So if it is normal or specialed or flip face up, you get to special summon a ninja from the hand or grave in face down defense position except itself. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets exactly one ninja card or exactly one face down defense position monster you control, while this card is in your graveyard, you get a quick effect to special summon this card in face down defense position, and if you do, return that targeted card to the hand. The last ninja that we're playing is the one Twilight Ninja Getsuga, the Shogun. So you get to tribute this card by tributing one ninja monster. And if this card is in attack position, you can target two ninja monsters in your grave except itself and change this card to defense position. And if you do, special summon those monsters. So again, a really nice kind of recurrence of your resources, as well as being a 3k defender. You can get this out in other ways. It's not the end of the world, but I do like the idea of having another boss monster. But arguably, this can become a second green ninja if you want to be keeping the Johos as your main boss monster. For the other ninja cards, we are playing free Ninjutsu Art Notebook of Mystery. So if your opponent controls a card, you get to set up to one ninja monster and one ninjutsu art spell track except itself directly from the deck. These cards come from the deck and or graveyard, but only one can come from each. So you have to bring one back from the grave, one from the deck. So you've got to make sure you've got the setup for both. If this set card on the field is sent to the grave, you get to target a face-up monster on the field and change it to face-down defense position. I've then got the one Hidden Village of the Ninjutsu Arts and the one Ninjutsu Arts Tall Iron Digger. So if a ninja monster is summoned to your field, you get to target one ninja monster or a ninjutsu arts card in your grave and add it back to the hand. You can't activate effects of the cards that were added by this effect for the rest of the turn. And if a ninja monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, or a ninjutsu art would also be destroyed by battle or card effect, you get to banish one ninja monster from your grave instead. So protection, recurrence, you name it. The Iron Digger, the equipped monster gains 500 attack and is also treated as a ninja monster. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You get to banish a ninja monster from the grave, target a card on the field, and destroy it. If this card is sent from the field to the grave, you get to target one of your banished ninja monsters, add it back to the hand, or special summon it in face-down defense position. Then the final ninja cards we are playing is free Ninjutsu Art of Dancing Leaves. Now, arguably, because I've built this deck to be a little bit more aggressive, because you already see that with your Maizen, you get benefits if your opponent controls a monster. With the Ninjutsu Art Notebook, you get more benefits if your opponent controls a monster. So again, it's more beneficial to you that your opponent controls a monster. Whether they're face up, face down, it doesn't matter, but as long as they control one, you get more resource. But you still need to play on those odd chances that maybe your opponent wants to go second and you have to go first. So being able to play a card like Ninjutsu Art of Dancing Leaves and the Ninjutsu Art of Duplication is still very, very important. You could afford to cut these both down by one and put them in the side deck if you want to be even more aggressive and put some of your side deck cards into the main, but that's entirely up to you. So the Art of Duplication, you activate it by tributing a ninja monster. Special summon any number of ninja monsters from the deck in face-up attack or face-down defense position with combined levels less than or equal to the level of the tributed monster. When this card leaves the field, destroy those monsters. So the benefit of something like this is you basically turn a Hanzo into a Mitsu and a Tabari. With the Dancing Leaves, again, you activate it by tributing a ninja monster or a face-down defense position monster on the field. Very important, if you put one of your opponent's monsters face down, you tribute off. Great success. And if you do, you special summon a ninja monster from the deck. When this card leaves the field, you send that monster to the grave. You can target one Ninjutsu Art continuous spell or trap in the grave, in your spell or trap zone, and return it back to the hand. You can only use one effect per turn. So that's it for all the ninja monsters, all 0 points. The other cards we're playing that are 0 points as well is free Kumongus. What I like about this is it's a weaker kaiju, and it's actually quite important that it's an insect, because sometimes actually having an insect on your field can be quite important. And then free Ultimate Slayer is the last card that is 0 points. So this is one of the cards that is very effective for going second. And you've got a bit of space in your extra deck now that I decided to kind of cut some of the points to give you a little bit more flexibility. So that's it for the main deck with 0 points. Now the cards are going to cost points. So again, this really, like the next section really comes down to preference. Like if you'd rather open up your points for something else, you can do. So I decided to go with free Mulchummy Fulos. I'm a go second deck, so being able to main deck a Mulchummy Fulos is going to get me as much advantage as possible. A card that I think is a no-brainer in a ninja deck is free Book of Eclipse. This is actually cheaper than Book of Moon. Book of Moon is 7 points, this is 5 points. But I think this is well worth it, especially when you get benefits of flipping your opponent's cards face down and then being able to attack directly with your ninjas. It really can be a massive game changer. It can be great for going first to stop your opponent building. It can also help you be defensive because you can still fuse with your face down monsters. It does put in a lot of work. And another card as well that I think puts in a lot of work is free super polymerization. Yes, I've gone back to the good old fashioned of super polymerization, but being able to break fields without your opponent responding is near invaluable in this type of game as well. And then also being able to present yourself with a monster that can then be utilized for draw power or targeted protection power can be very, very useful. So that's it for the entire main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. Now, if I remember rightly off the top of my head, the only cards in the extra deck that have points values are the ninja cards themselves. So the main deck itself will be 75 points and the extra deck will be 25 points and the side deck is 0 points. So for the ones that cost points in the extra deck, is 3 Maizen. 5 points each. Might not seem like a lot, but does make it awkward building the deck. So this requires 2 ninja monsters with different types. Must first be either fusion summoned or special summoned from the extra deck by tributing the above cards you control. Your ninja monsters can attack directly. While you control a face down defense as your monster, your opponent cannot target this card for attacks. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you get to special summon 1 ninja monster from the deck in face up or face down defense position. Only use each effect once per turn. And then we've got the 2 Yagamaru's. So the reason I cut this down from 2 to 3 is usually I'd play instant fusion in a ninja deck, but that's 100 points, wild. And then I also felt that you can make this very easily, and I felt that of the 2 ninjas, if I wanted to cut 5 points out, I'd rather cut one for the Yagamaru. So 2 ninja monsters with different types must first be either fusioned or specialed from your extra deck by tributing the above cards. If this card is specialed or flipped face up, you get to banish one other ninja or ninjutsu art card from the hand, grave, or face up field, then target a card on the field and banish it. So it's much more aggressive in the kind of spot removal, but then your Maizen is your OTK enabler. Then got the 1 Blade Armor Ninja. So 2 warrior monsters, once per turn, you can detach a material from this card, target a ninja monster you control, and it can make a second attack during each battle phase. So when your ninjas can attack directly, this effect, tap twice, it's going to help your OTK. Technically a ninja, even though it's an insect, which is quite funny. 1 number 2 Ninja Shadow Mosquito. So this one you would make with 2 of your Mitsus. It can't be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. All monsters your opponent controls must attack if able, and when an attack is declared, you get to activate one of these effects. Detach material from this card, and if you do, you place 1 hallucination counter on a face-up monster your opponent controls. This effect, if any of the monsters with hallucination counters are negated. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of 1 monster with a hallucination counter on it. So it's a nice way of being able to be a bit more aggressive and a bit more of an OTK enabler as well. It all could be very, very defensive. And then the final kind of like Ninja S card before we move into the Super Polys and the Ultimate Slayer targets and just generic rank 4 cards is the 1 Ultimate Great Insect. Now, how do you summon this? I hear you cry. Well, you can only special summon it, Ultimate Great Insect, once per turn. It must first be either fusion summoned by using a level 8 and a level 7 insect, or special summoned from your extra deck by tributing 1 insect monster with 2000 or more defense equipped with an equip spell. It can't be destroyed by battle, and then once per turn during the battle phase, if a face-up card is in the field zone, quick effect, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. So you're playing the Ninjutsu art field spell, which is absolutely fine. The insect that you're going to want to tribute off with this one is going to be your Mitsu, because it had 2100 defense. So equip this with the Iron Digger, and you're in Dreamland. You can also equip it to Kumongus, which is the benefit of having Kumongus as well, but that's not like the only reason that we're playing. That's kind of like the main difference between playing Kumongus and Gameciel. But I thought that was kind of like a cool little thing. The other generic card we're playing is the 1 Exaton Knight. If you wanted to, you could sub out the Exaton Knight. That's when you can start opening up the door to. And one card that I think could be really funny to look at as a Super Poly target is the Ace Spades Speculation. So this requires a monster with 2500 or more attack and 1 face down defense, which is a monster with 2500 or less defense. So it basically gives you that ability to Super Poly your own face down monster plus one of your opponent's boss monsters if it's of a different type to deal with Garura and Mud Dragon, but that really does come down to the environment. Then for your Super Poly targets, 2 Garura, the most generic, most influential. 2 Mud Dragon, again, second most generic, most effective for targeted protection. This can also be used as an Ultimate Slayer target, and then your other Ultimate Slayer targets are the Malong and the Adjugator for your XEs and for your Synchros. So they're all 0 points. The only one, like I said, is the Maizen and the Yagamaru. So that's something to keep in mind. Moving on to the side deck. Now, as I've built this deck to be a bit more aggressive, I want some cards to be useful going second, some for going first, and then more for a bit of a balance. So the one card I went to go for is Silent Wobby. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be like, what? So this card is actually used in ninjas for going first. Now the reason that this is used for going first is during the main phase you get to special summon this card from the hand to your opponent's side of the field. When summoned this way, your opponent would draw 1 card. And if they do, we gain 2000 life points. the hand size limit of the card's controller becomes 3. So it really does limit your opponent's hand size, but it gives them a monster, which then starts meaning that your Mize will start getting advantage, your Ninjutsu Art Notebook starts getting advantage. So it's a very techie option. Massive shout out to Ryan, who was the first one to play this against me, and I was like, holy crud, this is what this does? And then we've got your generic hand traps that are 0 points in Genesys, so Skullmeister and DD Crow. Then I've gone with 2 Twin Twisters, 2 Dark Rulers, and 2 Lost Winds, because I honestly couldn't decide. I was kind of umming and ahhing about the Dark Rulers, but I ultimately thought, well, if I go Dark Ruler and then work my way into Exton Knight, I clear an entire field. It just gives me that option if my opponent is playing like not a Floodgate style deck, but just a style deck where they have boss monsters that I can't interact with and I need to negate them. Dark Ruler will help me deal with that. Twin Twisters help me deal with spells and traps, but could very easily be Cosmic Cyclone as well. And then Lost Wind is just another one of them cards where it's like, okay, well, if I'm taking out Full Loss, I could put in Lost Wind, and it just gives me another good option for going first. So that's it for the entire main deck, extra deck, and side deck for the Ninjas in Genesys format. Hopefully this has given you a bit of an idea on your own Ninja build. This is what I love about Genesys, is for the pure fact that it allows me to reinvigorate decks like this, that, if we're being honest, they can't really keep up in Modern. Like, if you're going to play this in Modern, you're going to be doing it at a very casual event. You're going to be doing it at a very specific event where they're like, you know what, let's just play ninjas, or, well, not specifically ninjas, that would be very, very funny, but let's just play something a bit more casual. And I think that's where Genesys format comes in, is it kind of, not prioritizes, but kind of now, trying to think of the right word for it, but it kind of promotes casual formats like this, which is what I really like, because then it means ninjas can do incredibly well in it. It's a deck that not a lot of people know, not a lot of people are aware of, and it will catch them off guard as well. So really kind of cool deck. I thoroughly enjoyed playing ninjas back in the day, and now I get to play ninjas in Genesys, and I thought this was like a really cool kind of profile update to give you, and kind of keep the train hype going for Genesys as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Any questions at all, by all means, please put in the comments down below. I will be more than happy to answer them for you. For now, as absolutely always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.